Yeah. Nah, no profit. Yo, where you at? Where you at? My homie Lou on the mic. Them other hosts need to stop. They ain't doing it right. If you ain't turned into Lou, what you doing with your life? Conversations so sharp, it ain't your usual night. We got athletes, entrepreneurs, even celebrities. Politicians discuss nationwide discrepancies. Hardcore tackling issues in our community. Spreading our knowledge, creating an opportunity. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou.
Liteskin Lou. Liteskin Lou. Liteskin Lou.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Live with Liteskin Lou. I'm Liteskin Lou, and y'all know who this young lady is with the pretty smile. She is the lovely Kiki, special guest in the building. But before we get into this, I want to give a special thanks to Stitch Duran, the best cut man in the business, for stopping by last week. And also, I got to thank you guys for your unlimited support. So hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And now, our next guest. He's the president of the National Boxing Association. He's a national boxing and baseball writer, photojournalist at Latinbox, 2019 Florida Boxing Hall of Fame inductee. He is none other than Damon Gonzalez.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Man, what's going on, my guy? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm having a good evening. We just had some weigh-ins an hour ago up near the West Coast in Seattle, south from Seattle. We have two NBA title fights going on tomorrow night, live on the Zone, actually. They kick off at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we have Andrew Murphy defending his super middleweight belt.
Yes.
And we have, really, really interesting young fighter, Indian fighter who started his career fighting in the Plant City, Florida area under the Pro Box banner. And, this kid was picked up eventually by Roy Jones Jr. As we know, Roy Jones Jr. has a great stable of fighters and stuff like that. And, him as an NBA alumni, it's great to have him part of us in our organization and what have you. So he has this great card going on, and we're welcome to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's
we
right.
met Andrew and Fernando in Atlantic City last week.
Yes, I saw that.
We did.
I saw that. There we go.
You never know.
Fernando Bunch in March will be actually in August, Georgia, where he's from, in that area.
Yes.
He's going to be defending his belt. So I'll keep you guys posted on the date.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So you think he got robbed in AC?
Actually, my honest opinion, I thought he didn't get that one. I thought the guy worked him. You know, I'm a straightforward guy. I thought that the other guy pulled it out. You know what I'm saying? But I've talked to him before. Me and Kiki talked to him at the weigh-in. So, we changed information. And like I said, I felt like the other guy kind of outworked him to some degree. Okay. So I always give my honest assessment because I just feel like boxers, they need that so they can learn from it. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly.
That's right. But let me tell you, Damon, November the 4th, Allentown, Pennsylvania, me and the lovely Kiki, we had the luxury of meeting Damon Gonzalez, this guy right here in the middle. Me and Kiki, we were covering that fight for my guy, Mike Seminero. And we saw Damon just walking around, doing his due diligence of his job, president of the NBA. And he came over to us, y'all, and he didn't even have to talk to us, but he did. And he gave me and Kiki some knowledge that we probably would have never, ever got. So we talked to him. He said, if you ever want to get him on the show, we called him up. So now that we are here, Damon, we've been talking about this interview all day because we know you are a man that wear multiple hats. Honestly,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even know how we gonna start this interview. So much to talk about. So
Let's
I
have fun,
just
man.
that's right. We just decided that let's start from the beginning, man. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how it was growing up in New York.
Well, yeah, definitely. I grew up in the Bronx, New York, as a young baby, as a young boy. Grew up in an area around Jerome Avenue, which wasn't far from Yankee Stadium and what have you. So, I mean, childhood was rough. We had a lot of in the late 70s, we had a lot of gangs rolling up and down the Bronx and stuff like that. So there was really a lot going on back in the days. I do remember a lot of things. I was subjected to be in the streets at a very, very early age, which, the good, the bad, and the ugly, I've done it all. I mean, pretty much, but, opportunities happen in my life. And, I just thank the Lord for a beautiful mother, my rock, who, when I was a young kid, just always, for whatever reason, the mother's always going to sign the papers. She's always going to say, yeah, go, enjoy, do something with yourself, and sometimes that's what it's all about. Those are some of the things that branded me as a young baby growing up. And it's so funny because just this year, my mom in her late 70s just got married. So when
Wow.
this popped off, you know, um, I had none but love and support for her because that's my mom's. And then
Yeah.
those things I started thinking about. I started thinking about when times were hard when I was a
Mhm.
kid, and it was always mom that came through. So,
Mm.
it was great to give back, to be a part of something that, that's what family's all about.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Family, family, family. So let me ask you a question. So early on, I remember you talking to us about this too. Early on, you were a b-boy, a part of the rock steady crew with crazy legs and stuff. Can you tell
Yes.
us a little bit about that?
Man, I'll tell you, like I said, when I was real, real young, there's a lot of things going on in the home, and things weren't right, and I was always running away from home, and they were always trying to find me, and I would always wind up in friends' houses and cousins' houses and what have you. But we used to roll around the streets. We did everything from playing loadies to, hot beans and butter. No matter what it was, man, we were out there playing our games and doing our thing. And the floor rock was something that we were doing. We were doing a little style called the floor rock. And the
Yeah.
floor rock, these two kids, man, they were Zulu King kids from Manhattan. They used to come to the Bronx and they used to rock with us. So, they used to like show us some things, but we had our own things that we were creative in a different way. So, I started doing that at a very, very young age and what have you. So, I got to meet some of the fellas in the crew, thanks to Prince Ken Swift, which is an alumni and a former member of the old Rocksteady days and what have you.
Yeah.
You know, um, one thing I'm super blessed is Crazy Legs is still in my life today. We're
Wow. Are you
very,
serious?
very, we're very, very tight and close friends to this
That's
day. And
that's good.
because I remember, man, Lace took a lot of energy in me when I was young, man. He took me off the streets, man. Took me off the streets, and we rocked in every club you can name in New York, and we just danced all over the city. And it wind up where they were like, look, we got tours going on. So the crew got so big, they had to take members of the crew, like 5 members here, 6 members here, 5 members here, and everybody split up and went on world tours to different
Wow.
places around the world. So
Wow.
back in 84, 1984, I think it was like 35 years ago, 36 years ago, my mom signed the papers and I got my visa and I went to Japan and I b-boyed in Japan. And when I rocked in Japan, I was filming a movie where I was breakdancing in the movie.
Yeah.
It was called
Mm.
Curtain Call, which was a
Oh.
movie made by an actress. She was like back in the early 80s. She was the J-Lo of Japan. Her name was Tomoyo Harada. And Tomoyo Harada was like the big actor back then. But it's funny because I remember doing a show in a club in Japan, and this dude from the Navy was there. He was like, "Yo, go down." And as soon as he said that, I said, "What?" And I went down and I started rocking. I did footwork, I did a chair, and I remember going into a backspin. I came up and I looked at him. And no, listen, no, he didn't go down and started rocking in this Navy uniform, started rocking, battling me in front of everybody. This Navy dude, yo, this is a true
in his full
story.
uniform.
In a Navy uniform in the club, and he's battling me, and his boys are like, "Yo," and my boys are like, "Yo," and we're battling each other in Japan. All the Japanese dudes were like fired up, motivated.
Oh,
Here's
man.
something so funny. You got to hear this, because after the battle, me and Legs laugh about this to this day. After the battle, the dude talked to me and he shook my hand. He gave me a pound. He gave me a hug. He said, "Yo, my name is Jimmy D. I'm the founder and the co-founder of Rocksteady Crew." And I looked at him like, "Oh my God, this is the dude that found Rocksteady in 1977. He found Rocksteady." Yeah, there was a couple of members, but Jimmy D and Jimmy Lee were some of the original Rocksteady members as the crew started. But he left after some years. He left to the military, and it's so funny. I battled him in Japan, and that's how I met him. What a way to meet him,
Man, that's a hell of a way to meet him. I'm just like, when we started researching, I remember you telling us when we were on November the 4th up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. I remember you telling us, the stories, but now that we get you on the show, we got to go and do our research, and just watching you on multiple interviews, how that part of life just lit you up because it was your launching pad. When you're young like that, you get into dancing and stuff like that. It helps solidify you as a person. So, and I'm glad you brought that up because that was going to be my next question. You took your dancing skills international, Japan. You were in South Africa, I think, when apartheid was going on.
Right, when apartheid was, there was bombs going off like blocks away from where I was staying. So that was pretty crazy. And being able to go out there, I was with another one of the original members of the crew that was out there with me. And also there were some members from the original Dynamic Rockers from Brooklyn. Dynamic Rockers were out there. Like Glide was out there. But Mr. Freeze was out there from Rocksteady. And Mr. Freeze was like, if you remember the movie Flashdance, the dude with the umbrella, that's Mr. Freeze from Flashdance.
Okay.
So me and Mr. Freeze was in South Africa rocking. And our group in South Africa that we had, we did something, I remember the story. We did something that kind of wasn't allowed, but we did it anyway. What we did was we took all the DJ equipment from the club that we originally signed the contract with. We took all the DJ equipment. We took the speakers. We threw them in vehicles, and we drove an hour. We did this. And like hours later, the club was going to open. So we had to bring everything back. So we drove an hour with all the equipment, and I had all these young B-boys with me, and we were going crazy, bugging out in South Africa, driving. And what we did was we went into this city, and we did a jam in the street. We started rocking the turntables, and I was, and we started jamming out. So where we went was we went to Soweto, and we talking about it was probably 2,000 African American brothers and sisters that were there in the streets with us, and they were all rocking and b-boying and dancing, and it was like a big nightclub outside. And they never had that Nobody back then in '84, nobody's ever did that for them, because back then it was like they had to be careful, they had to watch themselves, because there was stuff going on. There was a lot of things happening back then. But that's what we did. We did a jam in Soweto. Yeah, that was one of my other stories that we did. That was
Man,
pretty
I
cool.
love. So did that keep y'all going back then? Because dancing was back in the days, man. If y'all in here, man, and you young, y'all don't even know what life was back in the 70s and the 80s, man. So when y'all was doing the dancing and stuff, was that the type of stuff that kept y'all alive? Like just kept you mentally just there?
Well, it got to a place that, we all became, and we had to make that realization that if we were gonna dance and we were gonna do what we had to do, we were performers and we had to perform, and it took a lot to do that, because you're standing there and you're about to rock, but there's hundreds and thousands of people in front of you watching you. You can't be whacked. You gotta come out and you gotta rep. You gotta do something nasty, so everybody be like, oh, because you see now it's like the SpaceX rockets. Now b-boying is SpaceX. Everything they're doing is like it's uncontrollable. It's unbelievable. But you could see the vibe in the crowd, how people love it. And a lot of people that used to do it now in our days, they're judges. They judge b-boy contests like Mr. Wiggles. He's judging a lot. There's a lot of old school b-boys that are still around. Some members from the New York City Breakers, bro. Chino, all of them. I love all them dudes, man. And again, we were part of a time where it's either fight in the streets. You got Zulu and Ballbusters always fighting each other. It was either fight or dance. So me, Body Mechanic, it's a whole bunch of us. We used to travel from borough to borough in the subway. No matter what, we used to go everywhere. United States roller ring in Queens, Dynamic. We used to go right in their turf, and we used to battle them in their turf. And that's what it was all about. It was all about who's better than who. That's how we used to do it. And there was no fighting. It was dancing. It was all about b-boying,
Nice,
So it was
nice.
fun. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it.
Yes,
So
it would.
fast forward and then later, transitioning into baseball. What was your experience like when you started covering baseball?
It's funny because back in the '90s, went to visit my grandfather in Puerto Rico. And
Okay.
my grandfather in Puerto Rico, he had some really nice friends of his, and one of his friends, his son was a baseball player in Puerto Rico, and he was gonna go into the major leagues, and it come about a year or two after I met him in that conversation, knowing him for 2 years, he wound up becoming a major league player. So he was like, "Yo, come to work for me." Drive me around, blah, 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 come to the ballpark. So I took a job, kind of like a liaison working with this ball player. So I used to go to Texas a lot, and I used to drive around with like we go to Baltimore, New York, all the cities that the Texas
Wow.
Rangers would play. I would go
Wow.
with him, and I got to meet a lot of ball players back then. So I was traveling with them, and Juan Gonzalez was the ball player, and Pudge Rodriguez was, Hall of Famer. He was the other ball player, and it was so nice being around baseball like that, because you get to see the ins and out. And I wind up started writing, and that's where I started interviewing baseball players in the
Wow.
clubhouse,
Just
because I
like that.
wasn't media. No, I was just with Wong and Pudge. Another true story, Yankee Stadium. I would tell Wong, sign a bat for me. He signed a bat, and I'll take it in the hallway in Yankee Stadium, and I'll go to the Yankee clubhouse because I'll have my credentials, and I'll give the bat to rookie Derek Jeter, and I say, Derek, Juan wants a bat sign. And he'd go, oh, okay. Derek would grab a bat, he'll sign it for Juan Gonzalez, and I'll grab the bat and I'll bring it to the Texas locker room, and I'll give the bat to Juan. And Juan would tell me in Spanish, I don't want that. No disrespect. But I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna bring it in my car. So so I took the bat to the rental car in Yankee Stadium and I kept the bat, So yeah, it
It
was
was a
nice doing
win-win
that.
situation for you, man.
It was
Derek Jeter.
win-win. It was fun because back then, Sammy Sosa, McGuire, they had their home run thing going on. There was really a lot going on in the sport back then. So it was nice being around the baseball game, which transitioned. We
Mhm.
went to a Spanish concert in Madison Square Garden, and I was with Wang at this concert, and the boxer, the champion, was sitting next to us, and man, I'm listening, but he was talking so fast I couldn't even. It was Felix Tito Trinidad. So he was telling
Oh,
Juan, "Come to my fight, come see me fight." So that's what happened. I went with Juan Gonzalez. We went to see Tito Trinidad fight, and when I went to see Tito fight, that's where it was like, wow! I fell in love with boxing. Fell in love with
Wow.
boxing. Yeah, that's where my love with boxing came. When I saw,
and
because
you had
Tito
that
back
down.
then, he
Yeah.
bring that energy, and he had so much energy, and he had a whole island that loved him passionately, loved this man. And you tell you, it's do you really see that today? You do, but not in many places. There's not a lot of athletes out there that have that kind of backing. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's big. Kiki, you see how her face lit up because if I'm not mistaken, she had that question in here, man, about
Uh
just
huh.
just the boxing part of it. But I want to
Yeah.
finish up with the baseball because just working with the Rangers, the Philadelphia Phillies. You did security for, like you said,
Juan
Ivan
Gonzalez.
Rodriguez and
Yeah.
Juan Gonzalez. When you look back at those experiences, what does what goes through your mind?
You know, the way I look at it today is it was chapters in my life that were written, and I can't repeat those chapters. I've
Mhm.
only figured out somehow, some way down the long run that through all these experiences and things, it helped me to mature to be the person I am today. And that I contribute a lot to that. So um it's awesome. Sometimes people they they should remember everybody, no matter who you are, you have a story. Everybody has a story. And we
Mhm.
have the most awesome thing that we're able to use either platforms or just us sit down kicking it at a Starbucks, no matter what it is. We can communicate and relate and not make it sound weird. Like people get weird, bro. Right away, it's like, oh, you gloating and you're negative, and people shouldn't be like that. But it doesn't matter, You just gotta love what you do, and I guess the way I look at it today, guys, honestly, Kiki, look, you can't keep it if you don't try to give it away.
I like
And
that.
that's what I try to do. I try to give it away because my son, I got two sons. I got one that's about to go in the Marine Corps. He's 22 years old. And the older son is 27. But check this out. He's in Allentown. You've met him. He was at the fights.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we did.
Mhm.
My older son, he's a rapper. He goes in
Mm.
clubs in front of 500 people and he spits and he raps.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
I'm not going to be daddy, go to your room and I don't want you doing that. No, that's not the dad I am. You know why? Because I did something like that. I was
Your
out there.
your mom signed that
So,
permission slip for you to go
right,
international.
right. So how am I as his father gonna not support my son, which I recognize, wow, he got my
Mhm.
passion. He got my passion. At least I learned, at least I taught him something.
Yeah.
He got my passion. He works very hard. He has two jobs, but then
Mhm.
nighttime come, he's in the club and he's selling it out. You
Mm.
know,
Man,
he's
that's what's
selling it
up.
out, and it's like so much fun even hearing that. Because I tell him the best is yet to come. You just got to stay focused. You know.
Yeah.
Kiki, you see who in the building?
Yeah. Mike.
My
Mike's the
guy, Big
money over
Money
here.
Mike is in the building. What's up, Mike? We
Yes,
got
Yeah.
sir.
War Machine. My little brother Jerry Peterson just dropped that $10 in the building. Me and Kiki
Thank
gonna get a
you.
10-piece wing. Thank you, my brother. We're gonna go get a 10-piece wing.
Yeah, Mike
Thank you
said
guys.
amazing folks, all on my team. Proud to be involved with you all. Thanks,
That's
Mike.
right.
That's how we all met.
Yep. Allentown,
Yeah, yeah,
Pennsylvania, man. This
yeah.
guy, Damon, man. We look, he didn't have to talk to us. Me and Kiki was just sitting there. We was sitting there trying to figure out how we was going to interview and film the fighters and stuff. And he came right over to us, y'all, and talked to us like he didn't like he knew us for 20
We
years.
was like
And
we
he
knew
had to
each
do
other for
that.
a long time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we are
Gave
truly
us some
grateful
pointers and
for that.
everything.
That's
Yep.
Oh,
right.
you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome, and I'm so happy I got to meet you, and build this friendship and what have you. And
Yeah.
there's a lot of moving parts. We have very busy schedules, and we do so many things and what have you. But it's cool that you can communicate and talk to great
Mm-hmm.
people. Because we all love the sport at the
Yes,
end of
we
the day.
do.
Yes. Yes.
It's-
And that's what I was going to ask you. So I know, fast forward now to boxing, and I know you just mentioned how watching the Trinidad fight and everything, made you want to be more involved into the boxing. So that's how you started out getting into the boxing.
Yeah, because that night I met Bobby Goodman from Don King
Okay.
Productions, and I met a
Okay.
media guy named Al Hopper. And when I met
Okay.
Al Hopper, it wind up that eventually I started putting in for credentials to go to fights,
Mm-hmm.
boxing, and Don's production started approving me credentials back in the day, back in
Yeah.
2000 and what have you. So I started going to fights, and Al Harper was like, "Look, you can write for us." And I started writing for Don King, but I started going to all his fights. Van
Wow.
Holyfield, Mike Tyson, went to tons
wow.
of fights with Don King. Tons of. This is when there was no Al Heyman.
There's no
It was
yes.
Don King,
It was
and
Don and
and
everybody
and
else.
Don and Bob Urim. I mean, they were so on top of boxing back then. There was just, it was a part of that chapter, I want to say. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think it's fair to compare, then and now, and what have you, but it was
Mm-hmm.
part of that chapter in that time where this is what they were doing for boxing. And there
Yeah.
was just so much talent. I mean, a list of talent of fighters.
Wow. Wow. What was the
Yes,
experience like working with Don King?
Well, there was a lot of, like I said, moving parts. There was a lot of people around him, but the access I had was pretty awesome.
Okay, that's
The guy that handled the credentials back then, he's still working today. Matter of fact, true story. The same
wow.
guy that gave me my first credential with Don
Mm-hmm.
King today and tomorrow, he's doing the credentialing for
Wow.
Roy Jones's fight in Seattle,
Oh
my
wow.
my
NBA
goodness.
title fights. That's
Oh
how
my
long
goodness.
Ed Keenan been in boxing. Ed Keenan from the Philadelphia area. He's been in boxing. He's credentialed me for the Arturo Gatti Mickey Ward fights. Just so many for many years because you have experience. You have people that handle the credentialing process, but they understand and they know
Mm-hmm.
who is the legitimate media that pays their dues and works hard.
Mm-hmm.
And we're the ones that get those opportunities because we put forth the great work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just listened, just looking at all the interviews that you've done, doing our research. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
amazed, man, of everything that you've been doing. It's just a beautiful thing. So my next question is Latinbox. How did that come about? I think it was 2000 when you
Yeah, it was around 2000 when
yeah.
I made that transition going into boxing. I started my own platform and I was just always writing, putting columns out, boxing.com, doing just so much different things. And, I used to go ringside and I used to talk to guys like a guy named Tom Casino, which was a very famous photographer for Showtime Boxing,
Mm-hmm.
kind of back in the days. I used to talk to these old photographers back then and ask them questions because I always had that itch that I wanted to learn photography. So I'll get
Mhm,
into that and you'll learn the story about that, how I got into it.
mhm.
Yeah.
Because
Stories and
for the
stories.
yeah, for the Latin box sports, you do writing and photography, right? You do both, right?
Yes. And I
Okay.
started getting into photography, to be honest with you. Let me see. I mean, I've back in the day I've photographed fights, but I mean, this is funny. Hold on.
He's going
Look.
into the shed, y'all. He's pulling it
Nah,
out.
look, see, look,
That's what I
look, look,
love.
look, look at
Oh
that.
wow.
That's a little Kodak little
Oh
camera
my goodness.
that I used to run around the fights with, taking stills and taking pictures. Not action shots, but a couple
Still
of action
shots.
shots,
Yeah.
but still
Mhm.
shots. But compared
Wow.
to
Compared to what you
this,
have now.
compared to what I got now,
He
you
got the
know,
big boy stuff.
it's the
Yeah.
arsenal, because it's the demand, it's the demand
Mhm,
of work that's required and stuff. But you got to learn somewhere. And you know who really deeply got me into photography? The former president of the NBA. May God rest his soul. He passed away. Walter Butch Flansburgh. People didn't know
mhm,
his story. Before he started, he's the founder of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame, and he's the founder of, uh, not the founder, but he made the transition in
mhm,
becoming the president of the NBA. And that
mhm.
happened. When did that happen? 1990 or 91 is when he became the president of the NBA. And him and a couple other people out of Miami, Irv, which was the former president before Butch, made the transition to Butch to have the organization.
Wow.
And Butch and his wife, they traveled the world. They had
Mm,
NBA fights in China. They had NBA fights all over the world, and they kept the NBA going. The difference between the NBA now to the NBA then was, boxing, the sports changed drastically. There's just been so many changes in the sport. In other words, and then you see it yourselves. Promoters back then aren't promoters now. At least maybe a
mm,
couple of them that are
Couple
still
here and there,
around.
yeah.
mm,
Like the legend Bob Arum. There's a couple that are still around,
mm,
but there's been a big transition through the years.
mhm,
So with that said, even with the sanctioning bodies, there's been transitions with fathers to son. Gilberto Mendoza, the Gilberto Mendoza, now the son running the WBA, and then
mhm,
Don Jose Suleiman, of the WBC. Now his son Mauricio Suleiman is the president of the WBC. But
okay.
the founding, these fathers and these people that ran the sanctions, they paid their dues and they put in a lot of work. And
Mm,
it's great that I can sit back and pick up the phone and communicate and work with the bigger sanctioning bodies. And I use the word bigger sanctioning bodies
mhm,
because they're the ones that are more active in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
mhm,
And I'm like a vacuum cleaner. I just suck up and try to get as much information to learn and be a
mhm,
part of it. You know what it is? They know me in the sport for all these years, and I feel the trust factors there. So that has a lot to do with they see my vision and what I'm trying to do, and they support me
mhm,
big time with what I'm trying to do. So
mhm,
It's a beautiful thing, man. Like I couldn't imagine just the stuff that you see all the time because you're in a position where you see greats, and that leads me to my next question. Boxing greats, working with them, like you said, Roy Jones, he's an alumni of the NBA. What's it like working with somebody like Roy Jones?
well, again, it's important because uh, like I said, you can't keep it if you don't give it away. And
mhm,
having somebody that has um, defended his title many, many times and have won every other title in the sport. In my eyes, one of the greatest boxers of all time. To have
Mm-hmm.
him supporting the organization that I run and having him being a part of it, I can go to him. We can talk about issues and things and what have you. And it's nice to have that access because that's what it's all about with the sanctioning body. We have communicated and reached out to many, many alumni that have
Mm-hmm.
become champions before I was president, when Butch was president, uh, fighters that he crowned. For example, boxer Naomi Vasquez, a woman fighter that won an NBA belt some years back on Boxeo Telemundo All Star Boxing. She
Mm-hmm.
won the belt with the NBA, but now she does part time. She's learning supervisory. She's supervising NBA fights, and that's where
Mm-hmm.
the alumni come in. We had honors a few months back. China Smith, former NBA champion from Sarasota, Michael Goldrush, and Edna Cherry. These are all fighters that have won the NBA before I was in the NBA. And, we wanted to bring them back. We want them to come back because it's important for us to have the alumni part of the organization support this new generation of fighters. That's so
Yeah,
important to us.
I remember at Nature. He was like 130, 135 at
Yes,
Nature.
130, 135.
Yes, I remember him.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all just getting in here, man, I need y'all to hit that like button. And if you're new to the channel, just hit that subscribe button because Kiki, she gets on me all the time because y'all ain't hitting that subscribe button. When y'all don't hit that subscribe button, man, she beats me up, man.
Oh
So
no.
do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, man. I don't want to get no whooping tonight, man. For real. So hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Uh, Damon, 2018, you NBA president, you got the call, you gladly took it. What was that experience like?
Again, in the beginning, it was definitely a challenge for me because I understood and I taught myself because even being part of like a boxing writer for all these years, and the one that taught me really photography was the former president, Butch Lansburg. Butch
Mm-hmm.
taught me how to shoot a camera and how to do shots and stuff, and I learned so much from him through the years. And him and Tom Sisson were two Florida photographers. He did photography and ran the NBA. So, I mean, that's what I do now. And
Mm-hmm.
you see where I get it from. It's kind of been,
Mm-hmm.
the torch has been passed. And that's the
Right.
message to anybody in the sport. There's just so much you could accomplish and be a part of. It's just, go for it. Just do what your passion tells you to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what exactly what your job is as the president of the National Boxing Association? What actually is your job?
Well,
Like what?
being the president of a sanctioned body is something that I'm very humbled to have the opportunity, the organization, because it's an organization that's growing. And I understand that there's a process to grow the organization. And what we want to do is, and what we have been doing the past 5 years, I think we have about 63 champions in 5 years. And, that in itself has been an accomplishment for the organization and everybody involved and that
Mhm.
aren't involved anymore. So it's something that, I give value to. And I know that, again, because it's a growing process, it's very important to me. When I get phone calls and people contact us and they ask the questions, about the rankings, they ask questions about champions and what have you. We try to talk to everybody. We speak to everybody out there in the sport, no matter who they are, what they're involved with. And we try to look at everybody's situation, and if it fits best um, in the direction that we're headed and what we're trying to do, because we're trying to establish the female and the male fighter, which they fight for the belt, they become a champion in the NBA. And obviously, it makes all the sense in the world that a few of the bigger sanctioning bodies have their eyes on them right away because
Right.
they've decided to take that step to go into a next chapter to behave like a champion. And that takes a lot to do that. That's not just you win a belt and let it collect dust in your showcase and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You win the belt and there's another part of that process that goes with it is learning what the bylaws of that organization says when it comes to
Mhm.
you have to defend the belt, you have to get in the ring with somebody. There are fights that we order and we give 90-day period for promotions to figure out if it makes sense and the purses make sense and they're able to make the fights. And again, we try to keep things where there's not really a lot of pressure on anybody. It's just something where everybody involved in the sport gets to look at what they have and they get to look at the athlete and say, hey, wait a second. Before I really invest a lot of money, let's see what I have. Let's see if this person is ready to make that next step and move forward with it. Or again, it's a good learning process for everybody across the board. So
Mhm.
Yeah, busy man. Kiki, as I'm looking at the comments, I see Mike Serenera. He's in here tonight, Damon. What he talking about, Kiki?
He said, Damon, go ahead and break the news. Give a snippet, just a little snippet.
Special shout out to Big Mike, man.
yeah, Mike, here's the news. I won the caucus in Florida, okay?
I like that, man. I like that.
Mike's a great guy. When
Yeah,
I got
he
the
is.
calls a while back from Mike, and he has two amazing young fighters with him that honestly the fighters, the Ordona brothers, they have paid their dues in boxing as
Yes.
young fighters, but they're in that process, whereas which I believe, of course, the best is yet to come for the athletes. Because again, it's the hard work that these athletes put in. It's so important. So important. So we're super excited. I know next thing coming up in the Florida area, I have March 2nd. I have title fights here. A legendary woman fighter is going to be fighting for the NBA world title, Chevelle Hallback. And I'm super excited for Chevelle because Chevelle's been around a while and she's really done great, big contribution for the sport of boxing. And is so delighted to have this opportunity to give her an opportunity. She's in great shape. She's a wonderful athlete, and we're excited. We're really excited about it.
Mhm.
Yes, it's great stuff to be excited about.
Yeah. I was going to ask this question. So whenever the NBA belt is involved, do you go to the fights or you send people out? I know we met you because you had the belts and you were doing the belts for the Adorno brothers, but do you send people out or you always go to the fights and that's
Well,
how it works?
we do have it structured where I do have supervisors that do work NBA fights, and they
Okay.
go out and they represent the organization.
Okay.
They represent the athletes, the fighters, the promotion, and we sanction it. We sanction it, and we make sure that all the boxes are checked, that everything's lined up. The fighters make weight. Excuse me. There's no problems or situations. The gloves are good. Everything's checked, and
Okay.
then we move forward. And the one thing again that's real key to our organization, like any other sanctioning organization, is especially in world title fights, is the commission. They do the drug testing for the athletes, and we make sure everybody's on the up and up because again, we take that very very serious.
Yeah, that's right. Great question, Kiki. Because guess what? He not lying, y'all. We was right there. November the 4th, Allentown, Pennsylvania. This guy was right there, guarding the gloves, making sure everything was in perspective. And that's why my next question is like, okay, Kiki just asked you the responsibilities of what you have to do. I'm just, I'm just, I'm flabbergasted because all the responsibilities that you have, how are you able to do that working a 9 to 5 and just pulling off what you're pulling off? How are you able to do that?
It's not just that. I mean, there's some weeks I'm doing four things. I'm
Wow.
working FedEx. I'm shooting photography, which are paid gigs, and I'll shoot like Orlando, Florida, or I'll travel like to Madison Square Garden Theater in the weekend because I don't work FedEx in the weekends. And I work for the Single A, doing photography, the Single A New York Yankees. And
Wow.
the Yankee organization, that's been so much fun doing that. That's been so
Hmm.
much fun being involved with that and shooting baseball as a photographer. It's just been super fun, because you get to watch these kids that come from everywhere, from all over the
Mhm.
world, their first crack at it to go in there and play ball, and they're really, really good, you know. So, I'll do that on the weekday, and then the week.
Oh goodness,
Hold on. We lost
we
him for a
lost.
second. Hold on.
I thought the internet was messing up.
there,
Okay, there it
Yeah,
is.
there
somebody.
it is.
Sorry about that. Somebody tried calling me.
No
If I'm
problem.
not doing an NBA fight on the weekend, I'm doing a photography gig on the weekend. So I'm extremely busy. My family's my rock. They're 100% supportive. So it's a great thing. You know.
Yeah, I know when you were in Allentown, your son was there taking pictures. He was doing the
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah.
Hmm.
He's more into like he did a lot of videography. He loves the
Okay.
videos and stuff. He does a
Okay.
lot of that. You know.
Oh,
So and that was the second time he's come to a boxing event that I
okay.
invited him to. The second time.
Yeah, I
So
remember you telling us that. Yes, and he took a picture of us
Nice.
when we took the picture and posted it on
Yeah.
yeah,
our
the
social
first
media
time I
handles.
invited him, he took a bus from Allentown to New York, and I met him in Penn Station, and I
Okay.
took him to Madison Square Garden, and I put
Oh,
him
wow.
ringside. I said, "Sit here and don't move." And he was ringside. It was Miguel Cotto's final boxing fight.
Oh
Yes,
my
yes.
goodness.
He lost that fight against Ali
Ali,
in
yep,
Madison
Salim
Square
Ali,
Garden.
yep.
Yeah, yeah. And Lil Damon was ringside watching that fight. But that was an
Wow.
emotional night for me because I spent a lot of years being around Cotto, saying like I was around Arturo Gotti. And it
Hmm.
was just it was great watching, one of the greatest boxers I thought, in my era, come to a finish in his career. And it's harder, because
Yeah,
again,
you know it's gonna come, but the question is, when is it gonna come? And when it comes,
exactly,
it's a downer, man.
exactly. Like, when I was doing media for Boxeo Telemundo for All Star Boxing, we had Top Rank would bring some of their young fighters to fight in Florida under All Star Boxing. So all these young kids would come and they were like just coming out of amateurs and they just started and they're fighting. And the one young fighter, every time he came to Florida, he would knock somebody out. It was Teofimo Lopez. And I
Oh
got
wow.
real close to Teofimo. I got real close to
Wow.
him. Him, his dad, his mom, and they just became wonderful friends. And that's what boxing's all about. You build relationships.
Hmm.
And true story, when Teofimo knocked out Richard Comey, and I was shooting the fight, and I remember shooting the fight, and in the back of my eyes, a tear coming down my eye. When he won the title, he won the IBF title
Yes, I
that
remember
night.
that fight.
And it was emotional for me because I watched him grow. I personally watched him grow. I was at all his fights, and then he got to a point where he won his first belt in the big house in the garden,
In the
and and,
gardens,
and that
no,
was
none
just
better.
a listen. This the air in the garden is different. It's different. Boxing's different. It's just that's you got to perform. You know, that's the mecca, and
Yes.
it was you can see that it was that fighter was ready to just launch, and that's where it started for him, you know.
hmm That's nice. So in 2019, you were inducted into the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. What was that like for you?
I'll tell you, I got the phone call. Steve Ken contacted me and he told me this, and I was very emotional. I was very happy and I was very emotional. It was something that I feel very proud of. You know, I watched the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame organization grow through all these years, and it's continuing to grow. And being a part of it and going up there, I was so nervous. I think, yeah, I remember I was eating a candy bar
Yes.
while I was doing my
You was
speech.
doing Andy Ruiz joint. He had the
Yeah,
Snickers.
I was.
You had, I forgot the name of the candy bar you
It was it
had.
It was
was
like
one of
some
those
granola
health. It
bars.
was a health bar. It was a
Yeah.
health bar. I
Yeah.
even tagged them, and they were like, "All right," you know, real cool. Yeah, but yeah, I was crazy nervous. I was crazy nervous, but it was looking out there and watching all my friends and my family. My dad came down, my mom flew down.
Yes.
My brother. It was just it was an awesome time. It was an awesome time.
Well deserved.
Yeah, it was. Great question, Kiki. I got a follow-up question because I've studied that video probably 5 to 10 times. And I watched your energy, how they was putting the camera on you when the introductor, when he was telling, giving your accolades and stuff. I watched you and you said it when you got up there, you was a little nervous. If you can walk the people through just that whole mindset before it was your time to walk up and make your speech.
It was kind of hard to say because again, when I went up there, things came out pretty normal. I was very thankful, extremely
Mhm,
thankful, and I understand the hard work that's put involved. There's so many
mhm,
people there that just like that they're all just so a part of making the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame and what it is. Hands down, besides the International Boxing Hall of Fame, Florida's one of the top Hall of Fames in the country. There's no question about it. You go down to Fort Myers, the Hall of Fame is just gorgeous. You go in there and you see the castings of Don King and so many greats and people from the Florida area and from that have been given that honor and that opportunity that they're being recognized in the sport, and it's just a beautiful thing. And again, that takes work and contribution because wonderful guys like Bob Alexander and just so many people in addition that work very extremely hard. The boxing events there,
mhm,
everybody works extremely hard. Everybody, and that's what makes it what it is. And look, man, no matter how busy our schedule can be in the sport and
mhm,
in life and what have you, there's always that part of something, and I'm just proud to be a part of it, no matter what.
mhm,
Yes,
mhm.
indeedy.
Yeah. Who are some of your favorite fighters, Damon? Like it could be past or present. Who are some of your favorites?
Favorite fighters, honestly, I love Arturo.
Mhm.
Arturo Gotti.
Yeah.
He was a no nonsense fighter, and
Mhm,
yeah, I want to use that word. I was one of the Howard Cosells around him. I always used to be around him and talk to
mhm.
him and go to Vero Beach and see him with Buddy McGirt and stuff. And
Okay.
me and Buddy are dear friends. The
Yes.
other day, I saw the Turo's manager, and me and Pat
Mhm.
Lynch are great, great friends. And I was emotional when I saw Pat, because again, it just reminds you of good
Start
times,
Yeah.
reminiscing, man. Yes.
our good times, and seeing good people, you know.
Mhm,
So, Turo definitely one of my top fighters of all time. You know, other fighters, definitely, I really like Floyd Mayweather. I had nothing against Floyd. Floyd had his career. He did what he had to do. He's numerous battles. It's either Chico Corrales, Oscar De La Hoya.
Castillo
No matter
twice.
who it was, Floyd always was Floyd. There's something about him that was just different than everybody else.
Yeah.
And how could you not like that? And one of the hardest nights for me personally, and it's a Floyd story, was the hardest night in boxing for me was watching Floyd batter Arturo in Atlantic
Yeah,
City.
that was tough.
That
Yeah,
was a hard night for me.
yeah. It was a lot of bad blood going into that fight.
Look, man, I was sad that night. I was just really, really sad because young Floyd, he
Yeah.
just put it on him.
He
Like
destroyed
in a
him.
way that was like, of course this guy was the greatest, So definitely Floyd Mayweather,
Yeah.
And Tito Trinidad, Tito was one of my favorites. Miguel Cotto was one of my favorites. I was always a big fan of Pernell Whitaker. Definitely like him. Heavyweights, I loved Holyfield, man.
Yeah,
I was watching
Yes.
Evander Holyfield fight live.
Yes. I
Fight
was just watching a
Rockman.
special on him,
I
man. How
watched
he
him
came
fight.
up.
I was there when he fought Hassan Rahman. He had that big
Oh,
bulk
okay.
on him.
Yes.
I was
Yep.
there for that fight. So many fights that I've seen him fight. He was just a great warrior.
Mhm.
Those
So
two
definitely
wars
love
he
him.
had with Michael Dokes. That
Yeah.
was tough.
And we're in a generation today that boxing's boxing. I got my favorites. I love Teofimo Lopez. Definitely a big fan of Tank Davis. Hands down, Tank Davis is a great fighter, man. Watch, when we have that opportunity that we're not watching in front of a TV, we go live. We're there ringside, and we're watching these athletes go at each other, and watching some of these fights, how some of them they end dramatic, like whack, knockout, it's over, fight's over.
Mhm.
There's no decision. you know,
Mhm.
it's just great to watch these fighters fight at that level. You know,
Mhm.
so again, like I said, there are just so many. I'm a big fan of Amanda Serrano. Love Amanda Serrano because she's a warrior.
Yes.
She's a warrior, and she never backs down on nobody. Hands down. I love Katie Taylor, another great woman fighter. There's just like I said, so many. From men and women that I like today.
Yeah, that's
true.
right. You got Franchon Cruz is earned Clarissa Shield. Women's boxers it's in great hands. So
Franchon's my girl, man. I love
yes,
Franchon, and let me tell you something about Franchon.
yeah, she can boogie.
Franchon is an old school fighter, and I mean
Yes.
that. And the reason why I say that, because she won't say much, but if you upset that girl, she's gonna beat your ass. And
Yeah.
I don't mean to say it like that,
No.
but that's the type of fighter she is. She comes to fight, and I've
Yes.
always admired her for that because she has great chin,
Yes, she does.
great skill set.
Mhm.
Again, very great fighter.
That's right. If y'all just getting in here, we about to close the show, man. Do me a favor, hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We got Damon Gonzalez in the building. I've said when Kiki can tell you this, when we first got him, he said he was going to be on the show. I said we're not going to be able to get this on one segment. We got to do multiple episodes because this man has been embedded into boxing for so long. It would be unfair to try to squeeze all of this in one episode. It wouldn't be right. So my last question to you, Damon, is after all you've been through, everything that you've covered, baseball, I mean, a little bit of NASCAR, boxing, how do you want to be remembered?
I think the most important thing to me personally is, my two sons, my boys. I can go back and think some years back where it was hard. Times were hard, and I went through struggles like anybody else. We all go through that. And then being able to make a transition, whereas you just keep on punching, you keep on pushing. I handle my life as I'm a champion, and I defend my belt every day. I wake up in the morning
I
and I
like
do
that.
something. And, I have my own personal belief, and with God's grace, I keep on pushing every day. And that's how I want the chapter to end one day. I want to be remembered as a person that, if something I always wanted to do was leave a platform where my boys can look at their
Mhm.
dad and say, damn, look, he's not locked up. He's not in the corner. He's not doing the wrong. That's Pop. And that means more to me than anything else, is giving that example to my children. And, that example is for any kid and any person out there that, we work and we're in this world and we do so many things and what have you, but we got passions. We have things that we love and we believe in. Step on the gas. Step on the gas and pursue your passions. And I've been able to manage and balance out all these things and responsibilities. But, again, focus on number one, my health, staying healthy and being able to accomplish these goals and things that I'm doing. Not everybody's our friend in the sport of boxing.
You got that right.
I don't mean
Yeah,
to
right.
say it
That's
like that and what have you,
That is
but
true.
that doesn't stop me or anybody around me that wants to move forward and make boxing a better sport. So I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for the fighters, the managers, the promoters, the fans, everybody involved, the other sanctioning bodies that are big brothers and big sisters to me, that teach me and help me continue to do what I'm doing today in the sport. And I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at with the sanctioning body if it wasn't for them, to be honest with you. Because again, they've really been humbled and supportive, and that means everything to us. It really does.
That's right. That's right. Kiki, have you emptied your gun? Because Kiki comes with a full clip.
Sir,
She got a full clip. I just want to make sure the
it's
lovely
good, but
Kiki has
listen, man,
emptied her
yo, I
clip.
hope this ain't the last time, man. I hope we talk again, man.
Oh,
Man,
we
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 definitely will.
definitely will. And
We
Damon, tell the people where they can find you at. I put it together. I hope I put everything right. But tell everybody where they can find you if they want to follow you. I put it across the screen, so I hope this is right.
Okay, definitely. You can follow me on Instagram at Damon Gonzalez underscore. You can follow me at Latinbox Sports on Instagram. You can follow me on Facebook, Damon Gonzalez, or the National Boxing Association, or Latinbox Sports on Facebook, Twitter as well. Excuse me, X.
yeah, X,
You can
yeah,
follow
X.
me on X.
Yeah.
you know,
Okay.
yeah.
And I put it across
So
the screen so everybody can follow you. And
That's
you have
I
some
right.
good
appreciate it,
pictures
and
and
again, I'm
everything from
always
the
open
day.
to questions, man. Bring your questions and your thoughts, and if we can find time to chop it up.
That's right, Damon. I can't get you out of here because every time we get somebody on the show, we always give them flowers because tomorrow is not promised to you.
Mhm.
Yes,
Damon, we
sir.
can't thank you enough for taking this interview. We met you November the 4th in Allentown, Pennsylvania, the homecoming of the Adorno brothers. We were sitting there. Me and Kiki was like deer in headlights. We didn't know what to expect, but because that was out of our territory. But you made
And
us
that was
feel
our
at
first
home.
time meeting Mike too.
That was our first
Oh, for
time
real?
meeting Mike. Yes.
The
And you
first
came over
yeah.
to us and you started talking to us and you filled us in on everything, what to expect in this boxing world. Because we're new to the game, Damon. We're like guppies right now. But you came over and you spoke to us when you didn't have to. And we're forever grateful for that. Thank you for taking the interview. I look forward to just more episodes because you're embedded into boxing. And I think anybody of y'all follow him, you'll be on his page for 1 second and you'll see how embedded he is in the boxing. Thank you for always representing the sport. I don't say the game, but you don't play boxing. The sport of boxing to the fullest. We look
Thank
forward
you,
to
Lou.
talking to you in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, if y'all put that cheeseburger and beers down and y'all give it up for my guy, Damon
Thank you, sir.
Gonzalez.
Thank you very much.
That's right, man. We look forward to seeing you
Kiki,
in the
thank
future,
you.
champ.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. I hope we see you soon. Maybe at one of the
Oh, no
fights or
doubt.
something.
Definitely, definitely. I'll keep you guys posted when I'm coming up north, okay?
All right,
Oh,
thank
yes,
you.
please.
All right.
Okay.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
That's
That
right.
was
That's
good.
right. Oh, that was good. Y'all, once again, y'all give it up for our guy, Damon Gonzalez, the president of the National Boxing Association. He came
Yeah,
through
he
like a
wears so
man of
many
his
hats.
word. That's right. Kiki, you remember when we met him? We didn't know him. He just came right over and just started talking to us. And
And he was
hey,
so
look, hey,
nice.
right. We
And
were
we just
in foreign
bonded ever
territory.
since. We bonded ever since then.
That's right. So if y'all still in here, y'all know the rules. Hit that like button. Because you know what? I'm gonna call YouTube because I'm gonna find out whoever is in here and they ain't hitting the like button, and I'm gonna pull up on y'all because I feel like y'all
YouTube,
cheating the
though,
system.
they be taking away our followers or subscribers sometimes. You'll have a certain amount, then all of a sudden they take it away, then they come back. That thing gets on my damn nerves.
But you know what, Kiki? It don't even matter because we in a prize and privileged
Ooh,
position. We are
I
able to
know.
touch boxing in a way that we
Yes.
wasn't able to 2 years ago, a year and a
Yes.
half ago when we
And you
started the
keep saying
channel.
2 years. It hasn't been 2
Yeah,
years.
that's right. I'm giving us too much credit. A year and a half
Yeah,
ago, we
we're doing
started the
good.
channel.
We're doing good for having started. We've been started less than 2 years, so we're doing an awesome job. We grow every day. We grow more and more every day, and we
That's
getting
right.
out here in the field. I say we getting out here in the battlefield. We getting out here in the field,
That's right.
learning
That's
stuff
right.
and growing. So y'all make sure y'all are following us: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Make sure y'all subscribe to us, our channel on YouTube, Live with Liteskin Lou. Also make sure you've hit the like button for this interview. Make sure you share it and make sure you subscribe.
That's
So
right.
subscribe, like, follow, share all our social media platforms. That's
That's
what you
right.
do.
You tell them, Kiki. You tell them. I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget. Special
Yes,
shout out to Quincy, the Quiet Storm Williams. He made his
Williams.
pro debut. Did I say Williams? Or did I say Williams? Quincy,
Williams.
the
Yes.
Quiet Storm Williams. He made his pro debut at the Showboat
Hotel.
Arena Hotel in Atlantic City. We was right there. He did his
Yes.
thing. Third round TKO. He did his
Yep.
thing. So if you listening, Quincy, you out there, congratulations. Also,
Yes.
special shout out to Big Malik, the Ring
Malik.
King Titus. He won a unanimous decision. He did his
Yes.
thing, man. He's the new WBC champ, heavyweight champ. We so
USA
proud of him.
Silver. Yep.
Yes, that's right. USA Silver. Thanks,
USA
Kiki.
Silver.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he took a loss last year around this time. Let me tell you thing about boxing, man. That's why I respect it so much. He lost. He had a knockout loss, but he came back. He didn't let that deter him. He came back, and now he's the new champ. And so special
Mhm.
shout out to Malik, the Ring King Titus.
And that
I
was
had to
at
get that off
Boardwalk
my
Hall.
chest. Boardwalk
Yep.
Hall, Atlantic City, New Jersey. We was right there. Me and Kiki. Kiki like, go Malik. Go Malik.
We had a
Truly great
wonderful
experience.
weekend in Atlantic City of
Yes.
networking. Great night,
Yes.
great weekend of boxing, networking, and just pure fun and good vibes, being around good people. And we met like a lot of nice people, and they'll be on the show soon. They trust me, they come into the show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we met some nice people. It was a nice feel, fun
We ain't out here playing
networking.
with him. We not out here playing with
Yeah,
him. I want y'all
we
to know
work
that.
the weekend was supposed to be fun. It was fun, but we were working the whole
Hold up.
weekend.
So you trying
Basically.
to say you ain't had fun with me? That's what you
No,
saying?
that's what I said. We had fun, but we was working the whole time.
Yeah,
we
whatever,
worked
Joe. Whatever.
we worked every day.
But no,
But I
it's just
enjoyed it.
this thing, Kiki. We're on a beautiful pace. Just going up to Atlanta
Mhm,
City. I got to meet Danny Garcia, his father, Angel Garcia.
mhm.
We met
Shout
a
out
lot
to
of
them. They were very nice.
yeah, they were very nice. That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. And one day, I I hate to speak things in fruition, but I think one day they're gonna be right here on the live with Liteskin Lou show. I have no doubt in
Speak it
my
into
mind.
existence.
That's
Speak it
right.
into existence.
That's right. So, Kiki, any last words before we I'm getting, I'm always getting my index cards here together so I can
I
file.
know.
Kiki, she
No,
got me like I'm a librarian. I'm in here filing stuff and making all this stuff neat,
trying to keep
trying to
you
get this stuff right.
organized.
Yeah, well, good
Trying to keep
job.
you organized.
First of all, good luck with that. I
I
can't
know.
stay on course to save my life, but I'm
I
working
know.
on it.
Every time when I'm looking for a pen, I come in there. I'm like, where are the pens? I got you all those pens, and I could barely find one pen in that holder of yours.
Yeah, I got them hidden over here. So you won't be able to get to them.
Yeah, right. Would they hid it in that pile of papers?
And if you believe that one, I will tell you another one. So as we
Whatever.
are
So
ending, look here.
what? Damon Gonzalez, yes.
That's right. That's right. My God, he was so
Don't
nice
forget
to
if
us,
you
man.
spelled his name wrong.
Yeah, I did. But that's another story for another day. These are for my notes. This ain't for the public.
That's why I said don't put it up
This ain't for the public.
there.
But no, real
Y'all, we
talk, Kiki.
thank
What
y'all
stood
again
out?
for tuning in tonight. We really, really appreciate y'all like week after week coming in. Without y'all, it would not be no show. So
That's
we
right.
really appreciate y'all for rocking with us.
That's right. And
So
also,
we thank y'all.
I gotta give a special shout out to my guy Spoon, one of the funniest comedians in the DMV area. This is his merch right here, Spoon Fed. I got his
Spoon
hoodie, and
fed?
that's what I'm rocking tonight. Good material, good everything. It's not one of them drinks you go to Walmart, see you pull up and you wash it, and the arm all the way in the corner. Nah, this is real stuff. You know what I'm saying? Hey Kiki, when you get them hoodies and you wash it, and then the arm be all like that stuff. Nah, this is real
Oh
stuff. So
God.
special shout
Yeah,
out to my
so
man
get y'all
Spoon.
spoon fed, yeah.
That's
I'm
right.
sorry, Spoon. I ain't have my shirt on today. I got one, y'all, but I ain't have it on. I can't find it right now. I ain't
Man,
have
she
time.
fired. So so any last words, Kiki, before we close the show?
Nah, just thank everybody. Congratulations again to Malik and Quincy. Thank everybody for rocking with us. Make sure y'all have hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button. And follow
That's
us.
right. Yeah, special
And next
shout out to
week, we'll be back.
That's right. Special shout out to Jerry Peterson. He dropped that 10-piece McNugget. Hey
Yes.
Jerry, I'm
About
about
to
to
get
go
some
to.
chicken, he said.
That's right, man. Kiki gonna break down that 10-piece wings. Got some rice, and we about to break that joint down like a shotgun. You hear me?
Fried five wings. This is my 5 wings fried hard with fried rice.
Yep. I get 3, you get 2. That's how we gonna roll with it.
One
You hear me?
more on the side.
That's right. Special
Yeah,
shout
because
out
you
to
don't never want
Julius
to share.
Peterson. Kiki, I can't get out of here without thanking my oldest brother, Julius Peterson. 3 people in here. I know you still in here, dog.
You
I
know?
know Top Dog was in the building.
Oh God.
Oh man, I love my job. I love my second job. I do. I really do. But no,
Oh
we thank
man.
you guys for coming through. Y'all know the words. Let me find. Hold up, Kiki. Hold on. Let me find my.
You forgot to say your what you call it? Your
Yeah, that's
FedEx?
what's yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, your FedEx thing.
The world on time, y'all. Our guest who we just had on here, he is also a FedEx employee. So my words to you guys out there, the world on time.
Keep
I'm
the
a little
world
late
on
with it.
time.
That's right. That's right. Special shout out to Damon Gonzalez again for stopping through. I'm just amazed, Kiki, because remember when we first met him, just the stories he told us. I was like, damn, like he's really embedded in the boxing. And for him to come and bless us with his presence
take
today,
his
it
time.
was, yes, it was
Yep.
truly a
And
beautiful
thanks,
thing.
Mike. Thanks, Mike. Because
Yeah,
if it
yeah,
wasn't for you, we would never have not met him either. So,
yes.
Mike, we appreciate you inviting us up to the fights in November and letting us cover the fights and giving us all the access and everything we needed. We really, really appreciate that.
Hold up, you talking like you drove up there or something. You was in the passenger seat, so sit back. I'm the one that drove up there.
But it was
I'm
your fault we drove. We could have got on a train,
yeah,
which
but
I
that's
wanted
just
to do. It was your fault.
yeah, whatever. I drove. She sat there and let me
Yeah,
drive 3 hours. So that's another story
yeah.
for another day.
And that's
But
because y'all, I'm not a driver. I don't like driving distances. And I wanted to get on a train, but he had to do something. So we couldn't catch the train the day before. So we had to drive the next day. So that's his fault.
anyway, like I said,
Yes.
it's time to close the
Thanks
show.
for chauffeuring me. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Whatever. But like I said, y'all, truly, truly thank you guys for coming through. Y'all know the words. Stay humble, stay hungry, and always live your life to the fullest. Because guess what, y'all? Tomorrow is not promised.
promised.
I hear echo, but that's a story for another day. Thank you guys. We up out of here.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. Nah, no profit. Yo, where you at? Where you at? My homie Lou on the mic. Them other hosts need to stop. They ain't doing it right. If you ain't turned into Lou, what you doing with your life? Conversation so sharp, it ain't your usual night. We got athletes, entrepreneurs, even celebrities. Politicians discuss nationwide discrepancies. Hardcore tackling issues in our community. Spreading our knowledge, creating an opportunity. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou. Tune in live with Liteskin Lou.
Liteskin Lou. Liteskin Lou.